New month, same results. Got another storm system that's come through overnight. Dropped about 4 inches on us so far, so once again I am on my way out to meet up with the rest of the snow troopers, start putting the blaze of snowflakes. But it is March, it's a new month, spring's right around the corner, hopefully. You ask, we answer. It's time for some viewer mail. Over the last several months here, we've had several of our fans write in and ask, what's your shop setup like? So I thought something different today, a little updated version of the 2015 Stewcare shops. About 5 years ago on the premiere episode, if you guys remember, that was a premiere episode. We did a tour of both shops, kind of give you an idea of what we have here and how we do things here. So I thought it'd be a good idea, being that we are transitioning from the winter to the spring season, give you guys a little bit of a brief tour, kind of an updated version of our shop. So here we are in the Stewcare. This is the new shop. This is the main shop we work out of every day. We're just going to do a walk around here, take a tour of the shop. I'll kind of show you some of the ins and outs, how we organize things and have things arranged here. So come on, I wanted to show you guys this is like the biggest shelf we have here in the shop. Senior just recently got back from vacation, so the RV was not here for pretty much the bulk of the winter. And that gave us a really good opportunity to get in here, kind of reorganize this area. And what we're utilizing this shelving for is this is pretty much everything that we have and carry in our trucks when we're doing the lawn season. You can see it starts here with we have our earplugs, our safety equipment, bottle jacks, the extra spools of trimmer string, fix-a-flat, wasp killer, the water jugs, then it transitions to backpack blowers and things like that. So that's kind of what we use this area over here, because during the winter season we're obviously not using any of this, so it's nice to be able to kind of put this out of the way so it's not in the floor and in the way of our shop space. And that was really nice to be able to have this big long shelf here to utilize some wall space here. But let's transition down here, show you a couple other shelves we have here in our shop, and kind of show you how we organize those. Okay, this is another set of shelves we have here kind of tucked away in the back corner. This is kind of some overflow, a lot of stuff we don't use on a regular basis, but one of the things that we utilize the most here is this one big main shelf here. This is where we keep all of our snowplow and salt spreader equipment. We try to keep, just like with the grasshoppers and lawn mowing equipment, we try to keep what we know are wearable items that are going to wear out eventually when you're out there putting the blaze of snowflakes. So we have some extra shoes, we have some extra plow markers, we have some extra angling cylinders, and some extra trip springs. And then we have a whole various box, a couple different boxes of various parts with light bulbs, solenoids, wiring harnesses, really anything that we have found that wears out over time, that you could get burned in a timely manner. If you get burned and you're out plowing and you have a part go down and you don't have that part, you're not going to be able to get there. You're going to have a plow go down, which means you're not going to get those lots cleared in time. So just like with the snow, with the grass stuff, we found if we can stockpile some of the important essential things, it prevents us from maybe having too much downtime. Other than that, it's just some extra hand tools and just a lot of miscellaneous stuff. We keep our hand blowers and our air tanks, which again, that's something we carry in the trucks during the lawn season. We keep them tucked over here out of the way so they're not in the main shop floor and they're not getting in our way, but they're readily accessible when it is time to get out, start equipping the trucks for the lawn season. Well, let's take a trip around the big RV here. We'll go to the other half of the shop. Alright, so we're on the other side of the shop here, and as you can see, this is more of the workable floor space shop side that we usually work with on a regular basis. We keep all of our oil drums, both new diesel oil and waste oil, all of our grease guns. We keep that over here because this is where we do all of our maintenance on all of our equipment. As you can see here, we have all our trimmers hanging up nice and clean and neat. Dale Ski and Wild Bill just recently completed the cleaning and refurb of all of these. They've got them all clean, ready to go. Went through, changed spark plugs where necessary, cleaned air filters, replaced where necessary. Just got all of our trimmers ready to go, and they did the same thing with the blower. So all of our hand tools are ready to go. So we transitioned down here a little bit. You can see behind me, this is our main inventory shelves. This is where we pretty much keep everything that we're using on a daily basis, whether it be oils, grasshopper parts, electrical related, light bulbs, stuff like that. We keep them all here. The reason why we have them here is because right behind our trimmers, as you can see, we created an inventory board. Years ago, we arranged it so it's got the fluids, the filters, belts, tires, and any grasshopper miscellaneous parts, the wearable items that we have known over the years you need to keep stockpiled. So by having the inventory board located directly next to the parts inventory, it's a real easy process. If you want to know how many items you have of something, you can look on the board, then you can come over here, you can locate it, then remove it from the board. Very critical. I highly recommend that for you guys. If you have a hard time keeping track of your inventory, again, just like with the snow plow parts, if you don't keep track of your stuff, you could get burned if you don't have something when you need it. So this has really helped us out over the years by keeping track of everything. But as you can see, we try to keep it as organized and arranged as possible. We have air tools, electrical items, tire repair kit items, then we transition down a couple shelves worth of various types of fluids. You know, whether it be brake fluids, grease, two-cycle oil, then we get down into the engine and motor oils, coolants, transmission fluids for the hoppers. That's kind of this half of the shelves. Then you transition over to this half. This is the bulk area where we keep all of our grasshopper parts, whether it's replaceable, wearable items, or big ticket items. Many of you will recognize lift actuator arm for the powerful decks. We found over time, when you're running those, after a while, sometimes they get worn out. We like to keep one in stock, because if that goes out, that machine goes down. So we keep one in stock. Other than that, we just have a lot of bins with a lot of little miscellaneous parts, various nuts and bolts of various sizes, fuel filters, pretty much anything that we know can wear out possibly at any given time. So you want to prevent that from happening. And that's really helped us in the lawn season as well as the snow season. Keep your parts stockpiled and know what you have so you don't get caught. But that's pretty much how we have the new shop set up. Like I said, this was done about 5 years ago, so many of you are probably familiar with the general setup, but a few things have changed here. But where you're going to see the biggest change is out in the old shop, the original Stewcare shop. So let's head out there right now. Alright, so here we are. We're out in the old, original Stewcare shop. This is where it all started when Dad first moved up here. And like I said, this is the first full official week of spring, so as you're going to see, we're really starting to make that transition here from snow to lawn. You went through every single one of these hoppers, pretty much frame up restoration, except for taking the engines out. They cleaned them, replaced any items that have been worn out, got them all ready to go. So they're ready to go out as soon as that grass starts to get green. Alright, so now I'm standing pretty much smack dab in the center of our salt storage bin that we have here at our shop. And as you can see, it's relatively empty because we had a very good winter. We had a lot of salt come through this shop here. So now what we're able to use it for, now that we're pretty much down to the bare minimum salt, is this is where we're going to store all our snow plows. So we've got all the snow plows taken off the trucks. We have made that transition from winter to spring. So we're going to go ahead and store them here. And the biggest change you're going to find here at Stewcare is what I'm about to show you on the back side of this salt bin storage area. Because currently right now where we sit, this bin here can hold about 40 to 50 tons of salt on hand with another 20 additional on the outside bin, which gets us about 60 tons or so stored on site. On average in the wintertime, 60 to 80 tons is fine for us. But these last 2 winters have been exceptionally good for us, depending on how you look at it. We've gone through a little bit more than that on salt, and to prevent us from having any problems needing to get more salt late in the season when it's hard to get to, what we're going to do is we're going to knock out this back wall here, and we're going to expand this to a full capacity. We're going to be able to store 60 to 80 tons inside with an additional 20 outside, which will put us in that 80 to 100 tons, which should be more than enough for a normal average winter. But we'll take a trip around the back side of the salt bin here, and I'll show you exactly what we're going to have to do to make that happen. Alright, so here I am, way in the back of the Stewcare shop. This area that I'm standing in currently, for years, has been pretty much our storage area. This is where we would keep any additional implements that we don't use on a regular basis, but we still use them. As you see behind me, we have our Pro-Lawn sprayer that goes on the front of our hoppers for the liquid treatments. And then we have a few other attachments here. We have a rake. Can't see the others because they're all buried behind this. But what we're going to do here, what we're planning on doing here for Stewcare to expand our salt storage capabilities, like I said, we're going to knock this back wall out. We're going to build a wall here that's going to tie into the back wall of the shop, and then we're going to frame in these two other existing walls. That's going to allow us to bring all this stuff out, redistribute it here in the main floor where we don't really use this floor space for anything. So the storage area will transition to the middle of the shop here. Then this area here will become a fully enclosed salt storage area, which I said will give us a capacity of 60 to 80 tons inside the building with another 20 outside. That should give us more than enough salt on hand for an average winter here in Central Ohio. But that's pretty much our two shops here. Like I say, a lot of it's still the same as it was 5 years ago, but as you can see, we are doing some new things here, expanding a few areas, a little bit of new equipment in a few spots, but other than that, it's pretty much same old here at Stewcare. But I appreciate all of you writing in, requesting to see what our shops look like. Hopefully that helps you maybe set up your shops and figure out how you want to organize your shops. But if there's any other lawn dogs out there that have any other questions, please feel free to write us at stewcare@gmail.com. We'll take the time to read your question, answer your question, and maybe your question will be featured on the next segment of Viewer Mail. Keep putting those blades to grasses.